day. It really just depends on the situation and the perspective. I definitely agree with Hassan that there seems to be a trend of, because it's so much access, and it just seems like it's so simple to just drop it and then find something new. I can start fresh. I have a new leaf. But again, what Angelica was saying, if you don't have self-love, you're gonna take everything you just did with the one that was toxic to another person, and then that one doesn't work out. So now who becomes the common denominator? Is it the new person or the one that has a failed situation going on, and it continues and continues? So everybody has valid input, and I appreciate it for sharing, because I actually don't even remember how old everybody is. I think I'm probably like in the middle here, but just turning 30, I can say it's been hard, yes, but at the same time, like I said before, previous episodes, as a dude, it's never been easier, man. You just gotta to get the dating experience is easy, absolutely, but the relationship part is different because of what, again, dropping it, everything is so easy, blah blah blah. I don't like the way that you're treating me or anything along those lines. People have a tendency to just to be like, I gotta put up with this. It's been 6 months. I think I know where this is going. I'll start over. Or, it's so complex, but said so simple to me. I don't know about anybody else here. Like, there's so many different variables. I want to say that it's simple. It's easy to love somebody, and then you get into a relationship, and all of a sudden it's like, yo, what the I'm supposed to be a mind reader now? I didn't know that. I didn't know you were upset when you did that. I had a rough day today, so now I have to consider my feelings as well as your feelings, and it's different if you haven't had that experience. So it could be dangerous, it could be scary. Something is new, it tends to be scary, but if you endure past it, it pays off in the long run.
Would you say that it's harder for men, this question, do you think it's harder for men because it's the whole committing part?
It's harder for men because women are picky.
I think it's harder for men just because also like the pickiness and the fact that like, bro, they got options. They really got options. They got a whole phone full of options. If a girl tells a guy come over, that guy's coming over immediately. Like if a guy tells a girl come over, she not answering back, bro. No. Like just hit the gym, you're good.
Just hit the gym, you see. But is that like? That's the disconnect? It's just we spoke about this, women expecting and not giving, just expecting. So
to a certain degree, and I acknowledge it. Like I know that's the reality of life. Like for the most part, like men or people in the masculine role, we're supposed to do the chasing. We do the invitations, we do the plannings and stuff like that. But as a dude, it's nice every once in a while. You have a little attention that. Because we don't get compliments often. We don't get that. Not like we're looking for it. It's just that if, let's say on the woman's perspective, if you really want to get that guy and attract that guy, just giving him a compliment or standing out and not like being too needy, but just sharing your time with him, you would step out and in front of a lot of different prospects for him. If you think that you can't compete or whatever, it's just in general, men aren't getting that same amount of attention that women get, even if it's unwarranted. Even if it's the damn girl, you look good. Like men, we don't. We got to wear a suit. We got to look proper. We got to get a fresh cut. We got to smell nice. You have a nice smile. Like it takes quite a bit. And, for the most part, you can put on a dress, do your hair, look pretty, put some shoes on, fresh face out the shower, selfie. Like, it's just, it doesn't equate.
Not the
It's
Alright, so not to cut you short, but
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like we all shared, and I definitely want to move to the next one because I feel as though the next one definitely adds to the men aspect of it. And I shared this with this person offline, and we had the conversation, but I wanted to bring it to the panel to kind of revise. And like I stated earlier on when we first started, we were going to recap some of the episodes. So, on the woman's perspective, Angelica says something that didn't resonate well with some of the audience and just myself. And I told her, I'm like, do you mind like kind of expanding a little bit more of what your perspective looks like? But she stated that we don't need men, right? And that at some point, right? And at the same time, this is coming from also and I don't want to speak for you, Angelica, but I'm just trying to like make it, you know what I'm saying? But more of the perspective of like, yeah, like we're now more empowered as women, and we come from a place of like, yeah, like anything you can do, I can do, like why can't I? But I came from the thought of I don't like we shouldn't think that way because we do need you guys, and at the same time it's more of like I shouldn't have to do all those things at the same time, right? Or any other woman, even heterosexual or lesbian or whatever, shouldn't think that way. So I'm gonna replay the clip because I do ask a question within that went to that, and then we'll discuss it. So just give me 1 second. But that's what men were saying, like dating apps, for example. They go on there to, like, let's be like, I doubt any of. Well, that's another question. Like, would any of you go on there to, just and then like get out? Because that's what men mainly go on there for. They're not there for relationships. So
to answer that, a lot of women now do. A lot of women now do that because, like, you gotta think about it. Us women, like, back then we didn't have a voice. Right? Yeah. We don't have a voice. Now we're getting our voice back, and we don't need men. Like, we can do whatever we need to do and be just like a man. If I want to have a one-night stand, I can have a one-night stand. And at the end of the day, like, these men are crying because this girl is not calling them back and stuff like that. So like roles change. Like, and that's one thing I guess some men don't understand. It's like a lot of women nowadays, they can stand on their own 2 feet. They don't need you.
Yeah, that's true. Hey. Cool. So there you have it. That was a quick recap of what that message was. So before we go crazy, I want Angelica first to share your perspective as to what we had a conversation about, and what was your message, what did your message truly mean with that?
Yeah,
or even just your perspective too.
Yeah, I forgot the question. Why I was talking about that again.
We were talking about sex, like men just go on like apps to like go fuck and like just do that in the bed. And
gotcha. Yeah, so what I was like explaining is that, like, again, explain this for not anyone to get like a titty attack, excuse my language. My thing is like, we always expect, like, us as females, we expect like the man to play the role. Like, the man's supposed to pay for the bill, do these things, all this, right? And that's how we look at it. That's how we look at it, right? And at the end of the day, it shouldn't be like that. Like, I'm a lesbian. Like I was saying before, I'm a lesbian and I'm dating a female. So obviously there's no male in our vicinity at all. So that right there is the sense of like, I do everything for my partner. I don't think I'm a male. Like, let's get this right. I don't think I'm a male. I don't act like a male. I don't do any of those things, but I do for my partner, and I treat her the way that I want to be treated. When it comes to society, is that we always think about, oh, you need to be with a guy because a guy can open a can of pickles for you, or a guy can be a great father because if you have a son, he needs to be around a male figure. Like, don't get me wrong, I have a son, and he has 2 moms, and he has several other women around him, but he has uncles. He has all of these other male figures around him, but I'm not with the guy. So when I talk about women don't need men, I don't need a man to be happy. I don't need a man to sit there and tell me, oh, that I got you when we go out to dinner, or let me open the door for you. Don't make me feel like I am selfless when I could do things that I could do on my own, you know? So when people are getting like so bent out of shape about when I say women don't need a man, because at the end of the day, us women, we think like men. We truly do start thinking like men, because when guys are having 7 different girlfriends and we don't know anything about it, and then all of a sudden, like, you're getting upset because she's doing the same exact thing back to you, you know?
She's matching that energy. Like, yeah.
Exactly. So when I say that us females don't need a man, it's because at the end of the day, it's like we want to be appreciated and valued and equal. Just because you can open a door for me or open a can of jar, I got a tool, I can open a can of jar. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just things like that. It's like you at the same time is like men need women because for what? Talking about sex,
society,
or to bear children, or that's what you, and like when you really think about it, that's what society's talking about. At the end of the day, we to stop thinking about society and think about what we need, you know? So I guess when I say that, it's like not to bash man, because I love you guys. Like, you guys are great. I love you guys. But in my world, I don't need a man to tell me that I'm beautiful or I'm this, because I got a female doing that, you know? So it's like, I don't know. Like, I think people just sometimes take things so far when they are butthurt or hate hearing the truth, they get upset. And I'm sorry, as a lesbian, and I'm telling you that I don't need a man, or some females don't need a man because we think just like you. Don't get butthurt. Just seek to understand and why. So that's really what it is at the end of the
day. Gavin's over here laughing. Gavin,
I just want to comment on something. That paying for dinner thing, y'all could have that. Honestly, I'm gonna give you that. Personally, I will tell you. My girlfriend should be tax deductible, my boy. Like, I can't do this no more. We go out to dinner, you want to split the check? Say less. You want to open that can? Say less. You want to drive and me be in the passenger seat? Please. You want to cuddle and I'm little spoon?
You already know. You already know.
Look at Turk in the back. You already know. He know. He relate. It's hitting him. It's like, nah.
Bro, sometimes men want to be treated like women sometimes. I'm sorry, but y'all get treated like princesses, and we need that. I need that.
Feminine. Do you think that feminine and masculine is like a gender thing?
No, bro. I mean, it's a balance. Everybody has a bit of both in them. Like, you can't just like throw it at one person.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance thing. To piggyback off, or I should say to combat what Angelica is saying, I find it a hard time to believe that women actually are thinking like men. I'm going to disagree, because if I were to say like, oh, I'm sorry to keep using this example, but if Lizzo is beautiful, when I say you look like Lizzo, don't take offense. It's just one of those things where, no, you don't think like men, because men are going to tell you objectively she's not beautiful. And there's a lot of men out here that say we don't want that, we don't like that, we don't like how you're treating us, and it goes ignored. And it's just we're not equal, unfortunately. Our bone density is not equal, our brain chemistry is not equal, our lung capacity is not equal. And that's okay. However, we are compatible. We work together, we build stuff. Women are better at a lot of things compared to men, just like men are better at a lot of things compared to women. We just fit with each other, and that's perfectly okay. However, men need women. We need women. We want a family. We need women. That's it. It's just, I can't reproduce with another man, period. Can't make it up. I don't care about science, new technology. I don't care. The day is the same. Tomorrow's going to be the same. Yesterday was today. We need women.
But I feel like too, like we need each other. And at the same time, I do believe that now there's different ways to continue that reproductive thing. Like, I do disagree to that, but I still, within the realm of that, would still want my kid to have some type of, whether that's my friends, whether that's my cousins, whatever it looks like, I still want that male figure there. And I feel like sometimes, especially, and I'm just speaking for myself, thinking as a lesbian, I always have to present myself as the masculine, and that's why I asked, do you believe that that is a gender thing? Because to me, I have feminine and I have masculine, and I've experienced women literally tell me like, why are you so feminine, or like, why are you like coming off like that? And it's like and then that made me overthink to myself like, whoa, damn, do I have to be in my masculine all the time? Also, not growing up with a dad, I felt like I needed to be in my masculine because I had to protect my mom. Like, she didn't have that. Like, and I saw my parents split up. So to me, it was like I constantly felt like I had to be in my masculine. And it wasn't until I actually started understanding men, giving men that aspect. Like, don't even get me wrong, I'm about to be real vulnerable, like even down to sexual abuse. Like, men do have this specific, because at the end, like T said, you are not equal. You are stronger than me. Because if you were to take me and rape me and do all that stuff, like, you're gonna win. You're gonna win, regardless of what I know. Like, regardless of what I know and maybe how I can get out, it's still gonna overpower, right? So to me, it's just like that safety aspect became distant, and I still do believe that men bring a safety aspect. And if I feel safety enough around you to be your friend, like I've even told Gav that before. Like, I told him, I was like, yo, like, what just know that this is like the type of like friendship I need, because I've had friends in the past that are male figures that don't know how to act. They don't care if I like a certain type of thing, or like what my preference is. Like, they're still gonna shoot their shot, and I understand you're a man, but then there has to be that discernment of like, damn, okay, like, what are my intentions here as well, right? And I feel like that has steered, and it has painted this picture of like, I don't even know like if I could trust y'all. Like, fuck that shit, you feel me? But now I'm more open to understanding men, like knowing where y'all come from, knowing y'all experiences, knowing how to live with y'all, because I live with one, you feel me? Like, knowing how to sit down and be different but still come together and build as one. So, you know, I say that, and I share all that vulnerability because, again, like, I just been always there in the masculine, and I've never been able to be feminine. And even for men, just as you guys are stating, like, I want to be taken out for dinner, like this, that, and the third. I want to be paid for. I want to be pampered. I want to be the little spoon. Like, hell yeah, like, you deserve that too. I feel like society has separated that and wants to continue to separate that. I think that heterosexual homes are needed. I think that that's beautiful in itself, but I also think that lesbian love is also added, like, just as, you know, as special. Whatever love, if it's fucking love, it's fucking love, you feel me? And if y'all gonna put in that work, be the parents that you need to be, right? But at the same time, like, don't steer away or take credit from anything else, because we all come together as one. Like, and I feel like the human society just keeps trying to separate. And that's why I want to continue to, you know, have these conversations. But I'm gonna stop talking. Whoever else wants to go, please do. Like, I just needed to say that. It's been days. It's been weekends of these thoughts.
Lynn, I do want to answer your question though. Do we need male figures? I do think we do. The male experience is very different. If you have a son, you need him to understand what he's walking into.
Yes.
A man can teach a boy, hey, I know you're upset, I know you're hurt, but you have to keep walking.
Yes.
And that is something that is important because, guys feel things deep. When the world comes crashing down on us, if we don't keep walking, we will self-implode. And I feel like there's just certain things in the male experience, just like how a daughter needs a woman, like they have to learn from both sides. Because if they don't, they just implode on that one side. I'm telling you, like, the ability to keep walking even when you're upset is probably the most important skill you need as a man in today's society.
Can I jump on that, Hassan, what you're about to say? So my thing is, as having a son and raising him in this world, you have to understand is that men, like, seeing the male figures I'm around, you guys boil up so much that when you have someone that's in front of you and tells you, just hug me, it's okay to cry, you not understand at that moment, many of my male figures that I do that to, they literally, their trauma that they have had, let go for that moment and able to release it. So I think it's also okay as young men for them to tell their son or their nephew or their little cousin or even friend's son, it's okay for them to cry. It's okay to see the vulnerability on your side, because that makes them human. Like, you don't want to, we are so structured of men to be so strong all the time that sometimes these men just need to be hugged. These men just need to be, it's okay to feel what you're feeling. And we, society, and I'm not saying we, society, shun them for that. And that's not, and I look at it and I think it's like, that's, you know, that's really hard to say, because I make sure, like, when my son cries, I'm like, go ahead, let it out. Like, do this thing, you know, because I want him to be able to express those emotions and not feel like he's a punk because he's crying, you know. And I think older generations, like, you guys don't do that because you're more afraid of being judged. And I'm sorry, like, I'm sorry that that's not okay.
Yeah.
Like, I want you guys to know that it's okay to have your emotions and your feelings. I'm here. Like, if you need a hug, like, yo, I'm here. Like, do it, because I think that's what you need sometimes. Like, you guys don't have enough of that. You guys don't have enough of that vulnerability to be okay.
I have a question, Angelica.
I got a question for you too.
I was gonna say, again, I mean no harm in this, and I do appreciate the fact that you're so transparent with this. So props to you. But do you feel like your son could possibly get bullied in school later on if he's crying for any little thing?
I'm ready for it. You have to understand, my son, how my son is built, he's gonna be very strong. Like, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about ignorance. My son has 2 moms. You know what I mean? He has 2 moms, but he has a big ass family. So I'm not worried about him being bullied, because at the end of the day, I fight kids. Like, no, I'm just joking. But I'm just saying, like, I'm preparing him. I'm already prepared for that, because there's so much ignorance in this world, especially him having 2 moms. It's like, I gotta toughen his skin. You know what I mean? So him crying and he gets bullied by that, that's okay, because that child that's bullying him,
when he's getting, like, you know, you won't be there when he's actually getting physically assaulted. Like, in that specific moment, it's not your whole family that's going to be there. It's not you. It's him against the bully.
You see the difference there? I don't mean to cut you guys off. I was going to interrupt. Go back. So the difference between men and women is that men inherently know that when we're dealing with each other, there's a layer of physical violence all the time. It's not just talking. It's not yapping. That's why I know men and women are not the same. We have to talk to you guys. We can't put our hands on you because it's destructive. But when men talk to other men, we can't talk to each other a certain fashion, because we know that, yo, you talking about my mom? She doing what? Like, so you say that, but trust me, it's okay to cry. Absolutely. It's okay to cry. But he has to, like, channel that into energy, into something else. Because men, I know me personally, when I have anger or any type of feelings, if I were to work out or do MMA or whatever, release it, feels so much better. And if the child or whoever doesn't know, like, I need an outlet for something like that, it could be bad. And they do studies and stats on this. I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. Like, this is what they talk about.
Like, I have a question about that though. Like, do you feel like it's more of because women were more emotional and, like, we use words, like, is it coming from that aspect of it, like not knowing how to, like, it's all emotional based? So I'm more assuming more of the emotional intelligence, like that emotional intelligence have to go to something logical, like a game or like a sport or like you said, the gym.
Our brains are just wired completely different.
Like, okay.
And when you start to look at it from that aspect of our brains are actually wired differently, because
that's what I think about though.
You remember, prime example, you remember when Diamond rolled her ankle and you brought her home and you were walking up the stairs and you were also hurt, but I had to get the groceries.
Yeah.
So the first thing I do is, like, you had her, right? You had the support. So she was like, oh, you know, I put the bags in there and all this and third. I'm like, I don't care about the bags. Like, I'm gonna take the groceries upstairs, go help her out. And I was trying to get other things prepared. However, I didn't check on her, right? So it became a whole thing.
Yeah.
But we're wired differently. Like I was doing stuff. I wasn't like wasting time twiddling my thumbs. Like I was cleaning the house, putting the groceries away, making sure everything was good. But it was that little tiny part of like.
But I think it's that miscommunication, because to be reminded of that moment, you also didn't communicate it like perfectly, and that's why what I was
doing exactly.
Yeah, like that's why I say from a men's aspect, like that can affect women in a sense, because it's like you're not communicating effectively, and that's why I say you are wired differently, to the point that even down to how you deal with your feelings is different. Like you may have felt some type of way in that moment, but we don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like now it's that's when it shows in adulthood. Mm-hmm. So what is it that a boy would need in terms of like how to channel those things? Because with women, we need to talk, we need to cry, we need to do certain things, right? And I think that it is okay to have your son cry and have those moments, but there also has to be again, it's a balance thing, because then it's also to the point of you can't do that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like you do have to walk with head up high, because you got to be, essentially, no matter what, it's like you're always going to be looked at, you got to be the rock. You know, that's just what masculinity brings out of that comfortability, that like assurance, essentially.
And it's kind of unfortunate that is how it is, but that's just the reality of the world. Like I can ask everybody at this panel, let's say we're in the military, okay? Perfect example. And your commander-in-chief, he just starts fucking crying. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know what to do. He starts bawling his eyes. There's no command of the troops, nothing. And then he tries to give you an order literally 10 minutes later. How do you feel? See Hassan's face?
I don't know. Commander-in-chief. I would give him that grace, though. I feel like men don't get that grace.
You're gonna follow somebody that doesn't know what
maybe
to do.
That's because I think the way I think nowadays. Like,
Lynn,
that person
I get the grace, but at the end of the day, we're taught, no matter what, get the job done. No matter what, take care of yourself. If I see somebody that can compromise me going forward, I have to leave it be. Like, maybe he has the greatest plan on earth, but the problem is that little vulnerability he showed. It puts a hindrance on me going forward. If he's looking stoic and strong, I'm like, okay, this guy's confident. This is somebody I will go to the front line with. But how do I know that at the last second, if I'm going into battle with this guy, that he's not going to cry again and go to the back? That's the one problem. And yeah, it's...
Gab, I need you to talk, because he laughed.
Please, Gab.
I'm going to say, but before Gab goes, that's exactly how, unfortunately, women treat us in relationships. If they look at us for protection and being the leader, we can't show weakness. As many is going to chip away at that little thing in their head, like, this guy ain't shit. Like, he's crying all the time or whatever. And it could be once or twice. All of a sudden, now it's all the time. Now it's going to be an argument. She's going to bring it up. Like, oh, you're such a P-word. You know, you're such a... Like, it happens too often for people to just say it's okay to cry. Cry to yourself. Like, take a walk. Think about your life. But understand that maybe... Because I cry too. No funny shit. I'll cry. But it maybe I'm frustrated. You know, I didn't get to go to my night classes. Now I'm upset. I'm not gonna cry about it, but maybe I'm frustrated. Or maybe, why am I here in this predicament again in this relationship? Why are we arguing about the same stuff? I thought we fixed it. Am I not good enough? Now again, frustration, anger. Now you're just self-deprecating yourself, and that's where it starts to well up. Because again, Angie, I agree with you. We should be able to talk to one another, even as men. Like, yo, bro, it's okay. Like, you let it out. Like, I'm not gonna judge you because I understand where you're coming from. I understand that it's not easy being a man in this world. It's not. and he's gonna love you as much as he can as his mom and your wife, and having 2 moms. He's gonna love you, but it's just gonna be something inside of him that he's gonna grow into it. You know, he's always gonna love you, just like I love my mom. I didn't have my dad, and it's just something that we learn. We'll have male figures, whether it's our boss or anyone in our sports teams, or you know, our teachers in school, or whatever is that male figure. That tends to be like, we're gonna take bits and pieces of like, okay, that's a positive role model. I want to be like him. I like how he handled this situation. I want to be more like that. If the child, like how I was, and sorry for being vulnerable, but if the child was not as expressive, like with his emotions, how I was, it could show up in other ways, whether he's going to shut down during communication.
Don't you ever say sorry ever again, but continue.
Because I'm rambling. I don't want to just ramble. But it could tend to like shut down during communication, and then that shutdown could lead to like a domino effect, you know, in other things in his life. And just do your best. That's all I gotta say. Just do your best, and keep providing that support that he's gonna need.
So to say something off of that, and I wanted to answer you, Ariel. So my son, when he gets to an age, we already have implemented that we're putting him into boxing, we're putting him to karate and stuff like that. Because again, we're not going to be there. He's going to be in school like 8 hours out of the day, and there could be situations that can occur. But I'm going to set him up to success. So if that does occur, he's good. Like, the thing is, I'm not worried about my son. I'm worried about everyone else around him. When I say that, it's just like me. I'm not a fighter. But if you get me to a point that I have to put my hands on you, you better hope and pray that someone's going to pull me off of you. When I mean like that. That's why, like, when people ask me, like, oh, how are you going to feel when he gets older, this and that, all I want to do, my son's going to walk his own path at the end of the day. But my goal, my job as a mom, is to make sure that that path that he's walking on is the right one. Is the right one. He may steer off a little bit to the right. That's going to occur because he's going to have certain friends and stuff like that. But again, this brings in your partner, whoever relationship you're with. That partner is going to be that other person that's going to be the outside person looking in as well to help you. You know? So it's like, I can't sit there and say like, oh yeah, he's going to be perfect and there's not going to be nothing wrong and there's going to be no fights ever. I can't sit there and say that. I can sit there and say right now, these past 2 years, my son is strong. He's very strong. When he falls, I don't sit there and say, oh, you're okay, you're all right. I sit there and wait and I watch him to see what he's going to do. And when he gets up and stands up, all I sit there and tell him, you're safe. You're safe. That's all my son needs to know, is that he's safe. I'm not going to sit there and tell him, oh, get up, you're weak, you're this. I watch him. That's all. As parents, you sit there and just watch that little person that you made do his thing. All you're there is just to guide them. You know, and society's going to do whatever, and he may get bullied. Oh, my son might be the bully. I don't know. You know what I mean? But all I know is that when it's time that my son needs to start joining boxing and karate and do all these things, self-defense, he's gonna do that.
No, that's dope that you're getting him. You're gonna get him into, that's discipline and brotherhood. That's gonna be something that's very valid. That is gonna reinforce that. And it sounds like you have a safe environment at home, which is dope. Trust me, because boys, we're gonna like to run around and climb stuff and fall and get.
Trust me, he already crazy. Crazy.
But that's good because he's gonna learn, you know, spatial awareness and how to use his hands, and you know, I'm sure you're gonna teach him not to actually put his hands on people, but to protect himself. So, of course, that's good.
No, yeah, that was a really good segue and a great point to tie it all in together in terms of like that outlet, you know, and knowing that it's safe. I think that for men need that too. In general, everybody needs that. We all need to feel like, okay, it's cool, it's alright, gotta get back up. And that's why it's a balance there, and that's all you need, a balance. Gav, John V, Ariel, any other thoughts?
I want to share something about like how the balance is important because I think you should treat them the way you want to be treated. So sometimes if you are taking the accountability to like pay something, or as Hassan said, be a little spoon. I think it should be balanced, um, and it shouldn't be like just to men. Like women should also do the same thing. Um, I've seen my mom and dad. Like I'm very close to my mom, but I'm also very very close to my dad too, because I have seen my dad sending me to like classes like karate, like just like Angie said. Um, but at the same time, I've seen my dad in tears when I'm not able to like when I'm feeling low or in my tough times in life. So um, I think it's normal for men to cry, but I think sometimes when men is in front of some other men, I think they're not able to like open up or show up their emotions. Uh, but I've seen like my mom balancing that when my dad is getting emotional, or when my mom is getting emotional, my dad is balancing that. So like, um, I think it should be balanced, moderation.
I also want to add something in quickly. I'm saving it for last, Gav. Since I spoke a little bit or just responded to Angelica, I just wanted to quickly say in the beginning, you said something about, I'm speaking to you, Angelica, by the way. You said something about like men get on like Tinder and like they're just there to straight bag and stuff like that. I also feel like women do the same thing. I just want to make that clear. Women are also on there trying to bag and leave men emotionally damaged as well. So besides that, also I do want to say one more thing. Women are also making or starting to make more money than men. Obviously not in totality right now. Obviously men are still making more, but women are getting up there. There are a lot of women CEOs nowadays, and there are a lot of women making their name. But regardless of how much money women make and how much, you know, of a big picture they stand out as, I still feel like they, you know, there's still that balance that we keep talking about, and that men can bring that balance, that brain that we keep talking about, how we're hardwired differently, things like that. I do feel like there is some genuine results that you can see with a male partner. Maybe not exactly what I can pinpoint right now, but I feel like we have covered it all. But yeah, I just wanted to get those 2 points out, that women do get on Tinder to bag, and women are also making money. So I just want to say that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that one back around, because we needed to hear that one. That
I
one
actually
was
wrote it down.
Good. I'm so happy.
I was writing it down.
Yo, that was a good ass point, because it's true. Women are definitely making more than men, and they, just like to Angelica's point in the beginning of the question, it was definitely, yeah, women do the same thing. And that's why I stated earlier on, like, matching energies. Like, it ain't cute though. It ain't cute on neither end, but it goes on, and that's really a thing. And I think sometimes it gets so glorified towards men because it's been such an era of that, and so much history behind even other shit with that. Like, you know, men were first to like be like, I want 7 wives, and you know, there's religions out there that do that, like, you know, to each his own. But at the end of it all, women are also out here just going on there and just wanting one thing. And that's why I had to get off there, and I say it constantly. I am not the person to do dating apps, because I would rather meet you out there in the world some way, somehow. I believe in a higher power, so may he place you here for me, but I'm not putting myself on a dating app, because I already have my own sets of trauma and wounds I'm healing, and that shit triggers a lot in me, because to me, like, I really don't know what I'm getting into. Like, I would rather, and even if it's open enough to like get to know you, it's still the thought that you're there and I'm here, and I'm like, well, why are we both here? You know, like, it's a lot for me. But yeah, I just had to share that point and add to that.
Can I say something real quick? Yeah, to that, Lynn. You know how he brought up like women go on for one thing within. Do you think I have actually a question to you guys. For men, do you think when a woman cheats on you, it hurts harder if you were to cheat on them?
Oh.
Yes. Reason being, it's easy for y'all to cheat, so it's kind of not respected, and it's hard for us to even. I wouldn't even say get sex, but men go on date for sex. We don't care. Literally, like, oh, who you are as a person, whatever. We don't care yet, right? We want sex first. It's just we see you, we're like, damn, attractive, sex. We don't look at you and go, oh my God, I wonder if she has a fucking PhD. I wonder what she does in her free time. Oh my God, that gets me so wet. What, she makes this amount of money? Oh God, that's so hot. No, we just want to smash. So we know
that's why
women,
they are.
we gotta talk to you. We gotta be nice. We can't be creeps. You know, it's part of the game. Unfortunately, it's a game, so we gotta play it. But it's not like we're actually assholes about it. We know we have to follow the rules, because if every guy just walked up to you and goes like, wow, yeah, like, are you free in 10 minutes? Like, come on, like, that's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So it's literally harder than a woman can just go social media, anything, Instagram, Facebook. Go back on MySpace. You'll get it. Step outside right now, butt naked. Someone will be there in 5 minutes. Yeah, easy. Men were arrested. You can't do that. So it's just one of those things where it's like, yo, I worked so hard to get this thing, and then, you know, we're going at it, and then for you to it's like an attack on me. You know, some people might think it's controlling, but it's more like territorial, in a sense where I'm not trying to like dominate you, but it's like, yo, like, we're together, you're mine, you're with me, and now you're just giving it away to some bum. He doesn't even work. He's driving your car, sleeping on your couch. Like, I just don't get it. And I see it sometimes, and I still just don't get it. It hurts, man.
Do you think it's more of an ego thing? I think it's more of an ego thing. Like, I think a female, to my understanding, like us as women, if we cheat on you, it's more of an ego thing. Like you said, back. Yeah, like, it's more of like, see, with me, it's like, if someone cheats on me, I'm like, I do the same thing. Like, you with that, fuck that man shit. That person ain't shit. Like, you start bad mouthing this person. You don't have no idea who this person is, or nothing. But you bad mouthing them, all of these things. They can't do this, they can't do that, and you're trying to put yourself back on that, like, that pedestal that you thought you were on with that person. So I think when I say, like, when a female cheats on you, it hurts more. I think is that emotional connection that you thought that female had with you only, and she's giving it up to the next guy.
Yeah,
so exactly when I ask that, is like, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to Tinder, like, yes, there's a lot of females out there now that are doing the same thing as men been doing, but I think it's hurting men more now because they seeing it. Like, women, they don't sugarcoat stuff. They do it in front of you. You know, like, you could be at the movies and they're on the next date. They like, and you're like, what? I thought you were at home. Mom's sick. Oh yeah, she got better. You know what I mean? Like, it's things like that. But it's crazy to look at it. It's like, men been doing that. Now women are doing it more now.
Yeah.
That's why
the only thing I'll say on that is, I forget, there was a study a while back. I could probably look this up, but when men have sex, it's to bust a nut. Let's be real. It's literally why there's something called post-nut clarity. Like, you'll bust your nut and be like, never mind, never doing this again. But when a woman does, there's a chemical in her brain that's released that's similar to the love chemical. It's a very big difference when they cheat. Like, bro, Future, I don't think Future even knows what the concept of love is. He loves himself. That's it. Like, I get it. But the reality is, like, the woman on the end of Future, she probably fell in love. Like, it's a very, like, different experience for us. Like, the nut part, how I feel after it is very different than how somebody else will feel after it.
And I know that. Go ahead. I'm about to say, I know that for a live fact, because even if you were to think about prawn, the whole prawn industry, mostly male viewers, right? We all have similar experiences. I don't want to put anybody in the spot, but get the post nut, right? Middle of the video. You're not even at the end of the video. And then you finish it, you're like, God, this is fucking disgusting. Like, why am I even here? I can't believe I just did this, bro. I'm so disgusted. And then, like, how many times do you want to repeat that cycle, though? Like something's going on. But to Hassan's point, it's exactly that. If this ties into the thing where you probably heard women like say, "Oh, all these men don't know how to make me like I've never had an orgasm and blah blah blah." And it's not because men don't know how to give you an orgasm; just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's why we're capable on this end as lesbians.
That's the
Thank
difference.
you.
And then when you get someone who does care about you, then both of you have that little connection.
Me. Like me.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. But if you're just having all these one night stands and homeboys pulling up at 12:15 at night,
he ain't for you, girl. He ain't for you. Say no.
DoorDash, that's it.
Yeah, no, that's a different type of work. That's definitely a different type of work. Gav, I need you to speak.
Why you calling me? I'm just listening.
Because you're laughing in the back. And you're laughing a lot. A little harder than usual.
I'm funny?
You see?
Am I funny?
Yeah, all funny.
Nah, it's not that. It's not that. I agree. When I agree with certain things, it's like you're laughing sometimes because like how much you agree with stuff.
Trust me, I know that's why you're laughing. You don't gotta explain yourself. I know exactly.
I will. Okay, so I want to make sure I directly answer like the question. Do I think like it hurts more with women? Like if a woman cheats versus if we do it, I would say no. It doesn't hurt us as much as it hurts a woman because like I feel like women are more creatures of like emotion and stuff. So to Hassan's point where he's like, yo, like if you sleep with somebody and they release like a chemical in their brain that's similar to love, when we can just kind of sling it and not have that same attachment. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you something right now.
So one thing I will say though, like that I really don't like, because like
drop it.
I'm definitely like a few weeks ago when Angie and I kind of like broached this topic a little bit, and I was like, nah, you bugging. Like, you don't need I kind of like, now I get more of what you're saying because I heard the whole thing now. So like now I have the proper context, but there's still shit that like I don't like. Like, and so a lot of this is social media stuff, but there's really truly people that feel this way. They're like, like I don't like men who play video games. It's like every woman has like a list of criteria. I feel like that of the, just not even women, just everybody has a list of criteria of stuff that they're looking for in a partner. But I feel like when it comes to men, like there are maybe certain things in particular that women are looking for. And I feel like we have to match a lot of that shit. And if we don't, then it's like, and it's just, even something as simple as there's a lot of women that will not date niggas shorter than them. It's just is what it is. Like, I'm so glad, like I'm only 6'2" and people tell me how tall I am. I don't think I'm tall. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, only. I'm only 6'2".
Man said only, like it's not the top 50% of the world population.
Listen, you know what though? You're absolutely right. I need to stop saying only because there's a lot of kings whose height starts with a 5 and a lot of women ain't gonna talk to them just because they're 5'9" or 5'8" or 5'10", and women want like a man who's 6'3", 6'4". That's like, they see another dude in the street, they're like, nah, I ain't gonna mess with his girl. That's a big nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I just don't like that shit that like, I don't know if it's women make this shit up in their head or if it's like a society thing. Like, my man can't play video games or my man can't be into this and can't be into that. And my thing is like, yo, the shit that matters, does he cheat? Does he have a job? Does he have his own car? Does he live with his mama? Does he got 3 or 4 kids by 3 or 4 different women? All the shit that actually should matter. You're not paying attention to that, but like you want to pay attention to what, something that you know, is inconsequential to whether or not that man has the ability to love you the way you want to be loved. I just think that there's an overemphasis on stuff like that. And honestly, like the same way women say like we don't understand what it's like to be a woman because we can't have kids and we don't have periods and we don't have menstrual cramps and all that other shit that comes along with being a woman. They're absolutely right, 100%. And I'm not comparing what I'm about to say to like childbirth in a vacuum. I'm just saying that like, yo, there's shit that women don't understand either that we go through. And I think that that's like a pressure thing. Like, so I could have a degree, I can make 6 figures, I can have a good job, have a nice car, be single, be healthy, all that stuff, but you wouldn't fuck with me because I play video games, let's say. I don't know. I just think that that's, I don't think we do stuff like that. I don't think that's a man, you know, like, oh, I want a chick who's like this, but I'm only going to mess with her if she's this way. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think it's like a pressure thing. And I think a lot of women lose sight of things like that, you know, the societal, the pressure society has for us to be men and manly men, and you know, things like that. And you know, women don't know, kind of like every man has it within them. Like, even if you're friendly, even if like you present yourself, even if your deposition is like really good and agreeable and everything like that, every man has like an innate, I'm gonna size you up kind of thing, where if just in case things go south, if I gotta hit you, I want to measure my testosterone against yours type of thing. And I don't think like they get like little nuances and things like that, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just those things like bring the pressure and make it more difficult to be a man. Then I don't think it's I will say this, I don't think it's as difficult being a man as it is a woman, especially not in this country. But like, I will say that I think there are some women who underestimate how hard it is to be a man, and they don't take certain things that are into account. So it's just, it really annoys me when I just see stuff online or whatever. Oh, my man can't be like this or can't be like that, but you want a man who's matches all this criteria for you. I just think it's stupid. But
and
yeah.
Then they get the man at the criteria, and then they don't do anything to keep him. They don't figure out that, okay, relationships are not just, you know, I got the man, now he has to pay for my life. It's like, wait a minute, what did the man have to do to get there? Like, you've completely forgot about this other human life that had to bust his ass off to make that salary amount that you wanted, to make the network connections that you gonna get your lifestyle based off of. Well, fuck it though, you can replace him.
You know what I'm saying? And just as kind of like, just to add on to kind of what you were saying, like, and I know like reality TV is not like indicative of anything, really. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times it's entertainment and it's just there for, you know, to make money and stuff like that. But think of it this way. There's a lot of like, we'll use like Love and Hip Hop and Basketball Wives and shit like that, where it's like these women marry these athletes, okay? And then for whatever reason, you know, while they're with the athlete or whatever, maybe like they started making women's makeup. Like Stephen Curry's wife has like cooking shows and stuff all over the place. And it's like, what if like, you know what I'm saying? Like, then they break up. You know, I'm not Stephen and Aisha Curry. I just mean like, let's say like basketball player breaks up with homegirl or whatever. Like, there are times like where we don't see or hear from dude ever again. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is the information age. This is where everyone has a podcast, where everyone is visible. Everyone's on a show. Everyone's on a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just kind of like the we live in like the visibility age of life, and we don't hear from a lot of them. But then like such and such is still able to like get whatever amount of followers on Instagram or, you know, stuff like that. They're able to like go into another area of entrepreneurship or money making or whatever the case may be. Whereas if they never married their husband in the first place, they wouldn't be in that situation to be able to do that. So it's just stuff like that.
Sorry, I agree. Anybody have anything that they wanted to add on? Ariel holding your tongue. John B falling asleep.
First of all, you're the one yawning, trying to come.
Yo, I didn't have my coffee today.
Pop, twice chill. You yawned.
Chill.
You yawned in the beginning when you're like, so relationships.
Chill.
I do want to say one thing before we go though. Like, I'm going back to Angelica's point. The outlet that you're gonna give that, like, your son is amazing, because it's back to also what we've talked about before. When men talk to men in serious situations, guys, like, that will teach you one thing. If you are going to walk up to another man and speak to him in his face, somebody will swing. It is inevitable. This is why, like, I don't know, if I'm out with my friends one night, somebody says something rude to me, I have a choice. I can turn around and engage, talk back, and then we're going to fight. Or I can just leave it be like, you know what? All right, bro, thank you. You're good. Have a good night. Like, men have, like, it's literally fight or flight, like, at all times. We don't. If it's a man that you're not friends with, it's always fight or flight. There's no in the middle. I'm talking to a customer at work, bro, they'll say some wild things to me because they can. And I'll look at them and I'll be like, bro, in the street, you would be killed here. Like, you cannot disrespect somebody this much in like 2 minutes. Like, there's no way. And bro, I'll be looking at him like, yo, I'm not even the fighting type. I don't even care for fights. I think it's childish, but I would kill you. Like, but that's the thing. Like, teaching your kid boxing, karate. If it's a boy, he needs to know some kind of combat. Because realistically, everybody got a weapon nowadays, which, by the way, is terrifying. The fact that, like, people go to a mall with a weapon. I'm not talking about anything recent. I'm saying, like, when I first started at my job, this homeboy pulled up into the store with a hunting knife at his side, and he started getting worked up, and he was drunk. And bro, like. And my manager was like, yo, why don't you just walk away? I was like, because my dad told me if somebody got a weapon, you don't walk. You don't. You have to face it there and then. It is what it is, what happens. Like, what are you going to run in and hope something good happens out of it? Like, men have an inherent issue with, like, communication in public just because there's no, like, oh, hey, bro, I'm sorry I bumped into you. It's like, hey, bro, you know how to say excuse me?
Yeah,
like,
society is what it
excuse
is.
Me? Where did do that at, man?
Thank you for sharing. It was a very vulnerable space, and I feel like we all gained more understanding of what that looks like on the sides of the spectrum. And my podcast is just one of the steps. There's a lot of podcasts out there that continue to have this conversation for longer hours and just more time. And I do want to leave it with the last question, which is, what do you think is needed to change in order to be more successful at relationships from both ends of the partnership? Because I feel as though it's getting to a point where a lot of conversations are not being had. And like I stated earlier, we keep dividing ourselves. And high consciousness is more about perspective. What can we do and what can we leave behind, right? In terms of a call to action to make a difference. So I want to leave you guys with that one and ask, what do you think needs to change? I know you most are in relationships, but even within that, like you're the prime example, you're the experience. So
I just want to say real quick, because my phone's gonna die, so I kind of wanted to make sure I didn't go super last minute, but yeah, I just think people need to be more open-minded, and just be more open to shit. Like the way I was raised, I wasn't raised in the best areas under the best circumstances, so I had to at one point, all I knew was one way of doing things or a particular lens of viewing the world. I think that people just need to be more open-minded and understand that we have all been through some shit in our own way. And when you just kind of like go through life with that understanding that we've all been through something, and somebody each brings their own perspective, their own experience, their own expertise, their own trauma, their own whatever you wanna categorize it as, they bring something of value to the table, or potentially, not everyone, but potentially, just due to the fact that somebody experienced something that maybe you didn't, or in a different way. There's value in trying to understand. So I just think that people need to be more open-minded. And, you know, if you're the type of person who's like, you know what, I don't date people who are this way or that way. And it's not, and I don't mean anything toxic, obviously. I just mean, you know, you just have certain like little nuances of preferences of things that you prefer, things that you personally want. It's okay to want those things, but I just think that people should look outside the box a little bit more, you know. And I just can't tell you how many times, you know, I've met someone, male or female, and, you know, I could just simply tell that they've never interacted with anyone black ever in their life, just from meeting them the first time. You know what I'm saying? It's just because, like, yo, like, you can tell. And it's maybe not because they're not open-minded to it, or maybe they are, but they just don't know how to go about it. But, you know, like, when I have those interactions with people, I'm like, yo, like, if you, and some people think I'm joking, if you are lacking black friends, if you're lacking something that maybe you want to be more experienced, more versed in, you should seek it, because how else are you gonna, like, completely understand? So I just think that, you know, people have things to offer them. People have things to offer you in life. You just gotta kind of like let them offer it to you. I'm not saying trust everybody and, you know, that whole thing. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to relationships, if more people were just open-minded and understanding, I feel like relationships in general would be a lot healthier in that regard.
Word. I'm gonna have Angie go next because her computer's dying.
All right. Yeah, I got like 2%. So I want to say actually communication. Communication is a really big key, a factor to being in a successful relationship, because without communication, you guys will just be a brick wall between each other. If you need to be vulnerable, allow your person to be vulnerable with you. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be that's supposed to be your best friend and your partner. So put your best friend first before your partner, because to be successful, you got to build that friendship to be able to have a long-lasting relationship, you know. And I think sometimes what we do is that we just forget those little moments about communication, because sometimes we could be so pissed off and we want to walk away. It's good to walk away, but take a second, breathe, and come back into that room and be like, hey, can I talk to you? This is how I feel. This is what's going on. And then even if you say, hey, I think we should do therapy, if you're with this person 5 years, we're like, hey, I think we should do therapy, and I think that this might work. It's just have that communication with your partner, because sometimes we fail to like even just do that. And sometimes being successful in any relationship, it is communication. You do it with your job. You do it, you know, with strangers in the street, because, you know, some stranger could piss you off and you're quick to tell them, like, yo, back up, you know. Mm-hmm. So just take that in the same thing in your relationship, and just don't feel like, you know, you're alone, because there's a lot of people that are, you know, may not be dealing with this particular the things that you are dealing with, but are dealing with several things, you know. So just always remember, just communication is definitely key on both sides of the end. And my computer's about to die, you guys. So I just wanted to say that. I love you guys. If it hangs up, this is great. I love all you guys. But yeah, that's all I wanted to actually say about that question right there.
Thank you for coming and staying and adding and being open. And, you know, we're breaking the chains. So, you know the vibes. Love you so much. All right, whoever wants to go next.
I just wanted to... Oh, sorry.
No, I have to say that real quick. You're all good.
I just wanted to say, I'm going to relate this to work, which is just to get it away from, like, my personal relationship. At work, we had a meeting. We had to, like, for our team was divided. We had to literally talk to each other prior to this meeting and be like, yo, guys, what can we do to make this work? And it was a matter of, hey, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Okay, guys, there are commonalities in this. Let's figure out that middle road that will satisfy everybody a little bit, just to make sure that everybody gets a piece of what they need. I feel like because that was at work, it's a lot easier to do in relationships, because again, like, there's options out there. Like, this person's not good, I'm a dip. The one thing that has to remain in somebody's mind is, hey, I'm here for the long haul. I have to not that I have to, but like I want to work through whatever we come towards, with barring like certain things like cheating, lying, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, like there has to be a, hey, I'm in this conversation to fix this, not I'm in this conversation to get what I want. Because a lot of the time we blur the lines between what we want and what we need, and what a relationship. Yeah, like what a relationship needs is a lot different than what you want. Like, bro, I want to be wine and dined every day. I want to not lift up my wallet once. Is this realistic? No, it's not. But that's fine. Like, there's certain things like, I don't know. Like, let's say my girl's like, hey, can you come over after work? I know you finish at 10, but is that okay? I'll give her that. But then in return, I'll be like, hey, I get out at 6 tomorrow. Can I have that day to myself? And it's a matter of like communicating what you need, not just what you want. Because, yo, the amount of times people just chase something that like has no meaning. It's like, yo, you want to go to the club with your friends, and you know that your man is like homesick. You have a choice. Go and live that movie night with your friends, or just take care of somebody who's going to take care of you when you're sick. Because your friends, yo, once you're sick and you can't go out, majority of them are going to be like, yeah, you can stay home, you're good. Or they won't even text you about it. That's the main thing. It's just choice. Everybody has a choice. And so many people choose wrong, and that's the main issue you have is you think communication is just talking to somebody else, but it's also with the choices you make. If I'm sick and you're not coming to take care of me, you're communicating to me that you don't care about that. That you care more about your Saturday night than you do about my well-being. Like, that's the main thing. Like, it's not just verbal, it's also
I think that goes into sacrificing. Yeah, no, understanding those choices that are gonna feel like sacrifices, essentially. Because it's not just about you anymore, it's about someone else too. Word, I agree to that.
I think I'll go. Mine's is quick and easy. When I thought about this question, I immediately thought honesty, but I know honesty is such a honesty, of course, why not? But like, most importantly, being honest with yourself, I think is really important. And being patient with others, because you have to understand that not a lot of people have that relationship experience or have not been in a relationship, while the other person may have come out of like a 3-4 year relationship and you've never been in a relationship. So you guys have two different mindsets of like, oh, I'm kind of already set. I know what I want. I've already experienced all this. I know how this is going to go. Whereas the other person is like, oh, is this the way it's supposed to go? And then come a couple years happen, and then you're like, you're in two different things because there was not enough communication. There was not enough, this is what I want, this is what I need. There wasn't enough of that type of conversation. Instead, it was just enjoying your life to the fullest, living day by day where it should be, living with that significant other day by day, living with that significant other, listening to them, caring for them, seeing where you guys balance each other out. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Just honest with yourself and just being patient with others.
I can definitely agree to that. Having patience, definitely being honest with yourself. Communications definitely is key. But that communication is like the overall arching message, because if you're honest with yourself, communication it's simple. I find it more challenging in my life to continue a lie when I could just be honest, and I don't have to keep up with a lie and remember who I told what to and whatever. But if you're honest with yourself and this is who you are as a person, then everything you do will be genuine. Everything you say will be genuine, and there won't be. There's still going to be some type of miscommunication, of course, because just like Ariel said, you'll have somebody who possibility that they have more relationship experience. This actually tends to happen more for women. They blossom earlier, and they get more attention earlier, so they tend to get into relationships sooner. But dudes, not so much. We fall in our early teens, late teens, early 20s. We still fall. It does take us a little bit, you know, to get into the groove of what it is nowadays. But it's just having that patience. And what Hassan was saying earlier about, you know, quitting early and not enduring, that plays a major role with the patience. Everything goes hand in hand. But to have a long-lasting and better relationship overall, definitely you need to just be patient with one another and talk to each other, explain to each other, like, you know, this is how I feel, this is what happened, and I don't know why I feel this way, but after such and such went down, you know, this is how I feel. Is this what you intended to happen? You know, give me your perspective. What did you see? And when you follow stuff like that, it tends to be a lot more cohesive, you know?
John V?
I think being open in relationship is very important. I see sometimes women being very open in relationships, like with emotions, but when it comes to men, they are not able to like be very much emotional about how they feel. So I think that is communication is important, being open, honesty for sure. I think respecting each other is also very important. If you're not able to like respect someone in the relationship, if you are not able to respect what they want or what they think, then it might not work out. So respecting plays an important part.
Thank you. Respect definitely does play an important part. To tie it up, you know, I'm gonna answer this question myself. What I think is needed to change in order to be more successful in relationships is also, as we were talking about earlier, being single, taking that time to really heal from trauma or talk about your trauma and open up and be more vulnerable about what you're going through and take care of yourself, whether that means working out, whether that means, I don't know, running a mile every day or doing some type of sport, doing something that's gonna always help you grow in a physical and mental way and challenge you. It first starts there, and then you can take on a challenge of a relationship, because a relationship is also a challenge in itself. And you know, we're meant to have each other, and we're meant to go through this not alone, you know. And the whole point is to eventually come to a place where it's like, all right, like we both understand that we're both human, that we've both been through our own thing, like Gav said, understanding, and also communicating. You know, if that's not a skill that you own currently and you're single out there, or that is made then and you're taken out there and it's your relationships maybe not good, you know, communicating and learning or being open to continuing to learn and want to grow in the partnership is what's going to get you successful. If you're not receptive to feedback, and if you're not receptive to being able to be told about yourself, or be able to say like, yeah, I get that you were single, this, that, and the third, but now things are different, right? Just like when you get married, nothing really changes. It's just even more of it's more solidified, if that's something that you even want, right? And I use marriage as an example because that's how I see it. But even down to that, even if you don't want that, there's still steps, right? So I just ask for you to take your time, deal with your demons and your trauma and whatever you got going on first. And if you want to, and if you don't, hey, listen, that's cool too. Like, you know, you choose whatever. Your choices are a reflection of what you want. So if that's what you want, you'll do what you got to do. You'll do what's right. You know, but in order to have a successful relationship, it really starts with that. And also just being open to other people. I feel like even myself, I had really high standards, and I had to like really be open to understanding that everybody comes with baggage, right? No matter what, like we just all come with baggage, and we have to be open to that. So, and for the men, I really want to say, like, just continue to show up for yourself as well. And you know, mental health is a thing, and it's serious. And as women, we also need to support that more, other than just bashing and expecting and not looking into that, like not wanting to hear our men's side. So T, anything else? Anything else? Anybody else?
I mean, we can go. You can go for hours. You keep talking about different things like mental health and.
I know. Let's not. I was about to say, literally, that's like a whole thing in itself.
I mean, that's part of communication too, because, like I said before, growing up, you know, I didn't really think I had a problem, but if something bothered me, or you know, I didn't even want to be in the situation, I would shut down. But that would translate to friendships. I lost friends, relationships, even some of my family members, purely based off like just shutting down. Or maybe I felt like maybe perhaps I communicated effectively towards them, but the response wasn't something that, you know, I like or I expected, you know. And then if you don't know how to handle that, well, I'm not going to keep wasting my time. But it doesn't pay off in the long run. But yeah, we can keep talking about that. Listen, I just want to say, guys, each and every one of the panelists that came on today, I want to thank you guys sharing your opinions, your perspectives, your thoughts. The ones that aren't here anymore, thank you for coming up here. To the viewers that are going to watch this, like, comment, subscribe, you know, follow us. Thank you to our guests that remain. You know, if y'all want to say y'all goodbyes, this is your moment. You can. But thank
I'll allow it. I appreciate you guys for getting me on here again. It's always a good conversation. Always.
Yeah, man. It always is. And if you guys have any thoughts or any ideas, please share them. We are open to continuing to create a community where we can just come on here and just vent, you know, and just chat. And it can literally be about anything. Like, as long as it's going to provide us with a wider perspective to life. That's all that is about. And breaking chains, breaking generational curses and breaking chains is really what high consciousness is about. So, you know, I know y'all watch this later, but when I post this, y'all better repost this to your friends, to your friends' friends, to your cousins, to your brothers, your sisters, whoever, to watch, because it's a conversation that everybody needs to be aware of, and you're just creating more of an awareness. So I just ask for that call to action, and thank you for coming to High Consciousness Podcast.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. We'll have
Enjoy
another
the rest
episode.
of y'all evening. Yeah,
Enjoy
we'll definitely
your
come back. We'll definitely come back with these polls.
I got you.
Pleasure.
Follow, like, subscribe. YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon Music, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are live. We're still live. No YouTube comments, but it's okay. Now I know that it works.
We had a couple viewers come in and out.
Yeah, I saw people come in. I didn't really see who like stood or anything like that, but
no, I didn't even look. But
I saw like one person. I don't know who it was, but I know there was one
person, but it was like every once in a while it'll be one person.
One person, yeah.
That's how it starts.
It's dope that we can go live now, though. All right.
For all you nerdy conspiracy theorists out there, look, man, we're gonna try to go to Rumble.
Yes.
Rumble's gonna allow us to speak more freely. You can't do that on the censorship of YouTube and Facebook, and like, it is what it is. We got to say certain things and avoid certain words, but we're gonna make that transfer over to Rumble. We haven't had a exact date yet, but know it's coming soon because I'm itching, baby. Like, come on.
Me too. Me too. I'm itching to have conversations, like the real ones we're trying to have. And to be honest, like, it's really what high consciousness is mainly about. That's why I stated it in the beginning of this episode, because this is more of an informative piece for the listeners that want to continue to listen to us and hear what we have to say. And that's going to be more of a free platform for us to be able to get on there and just speak and have be able to show different things, just be able to be more open and not be so censored. And, you know, prevent getting canceled or whatever that is called in society nowadays.
You already know.
That's all, baby. So catch us on there. I'll be posting up more information on it. So just, you know, stay tuned with our Instagram page that, you know, keeps everything intact.
Till next time.
Hey, the seeds. See you later.